Meeting for the city of Saratoga Springs. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. Present we have Councilmember Wadman, Councilmember Barton, Councilmember Davenport, Councilmember Taylor, Councilmember Wilson, so we have a quorum. We'll begin with a moment of reflection by Councilmember Taylor.
Our most gracious Father in heaven, we are grateful to be here as a city council, to be able to discuss the needs and the business of the city. We pray that thy spirit will be with us tonight, that as we ponder and debate and consider these items before us, that we'll be able to use our intellect and abilities to discern what is best for this, for our great city. We're thankful for those who serve our public employees, public safety, and we're grateful for the good citizens of this city that volunteer their time in helping us make things possible in parks and recreation and other areas. We pray now that they'll be with us, and we pray with gratitude in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I don't think his mic's picking up, staff, just FYI. Okay, we'll have the pledge by Councilmember Barton.
Please rise and repeat the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move to public input. Time has been, let me get to my thing. Time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as a public hearing on the agenda. Time for public input is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. Please limit individual comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter. Please be respectful in your comments. Please avoid repetitive comments. If you're here for public hearing, please hold your comments until that item. Is anybody here for public input? Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
James Raymond Herring, can you hear me? James Raymond Herring, 1317 South Adams Street, Saratoga Springs. Appreciate your time. I'll try to be brief. Appreciate the mayor getting back to me on this matter. I've been trying to deal with Brad Davis and have not had very good response from him. Not really happy with the way I've been treated. 3 years I've been trying to get this mechanic shop across the street from my house where the guy grinds and welds and blows dust. And I looked it up, and all this dust is carcinogenics. Okay, it's being blown out into the street, into my house, and I've looked it up. It travels for miles. Obviously, we're zoned in an area that doesn't allow this, okay? So again, the only time I got any response back is after I got a hold of you, Chris, the mayor. Thank you for what you do. And then I did get a response from him, and that took 3 years, okay? So I'm not real happy with what I've seen with him. But I guess stuff is being done with it. Apparently, I've tried to reach out to Brad to let me know what's being done, and he just keeps sending me, well, it's in the process. It takes a month, or it takes every quarter, so forth, so on. And I guess that quarter's coming up in July. My neighbor next door, she's informed him, but not me, that he's being fined every day $50 and then $100 and so forth. And I guess that doesn't happen till the judgment or whatever occurs at that time. So that's my only thing. I've got grandchildren, and I have a lot of children in the area that are breathing this stuff. Again, I didn't move into a residential area to have a mechanic shop across the street from me. And I've been in the area 20 years. The city's grown, you know that. Traffic's crazy. But anyways, thank you for your time. And that's just my concern. If Brad could reach out and just say, hey, this is what's going on, instead of sending me this thing that we're going through the formalities, let me know is he being fined? Is that part of the process? I don't know. I don't feel like I've been informed enough.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is anybody else here for public input? Seeing none, we'll close public input. We'll go to reports. So today I got to go to, what do we call this thing? The Purple Star School Awards ceremony for schools in the state who essentially qualify to support military families. It was a cool program, cool program done by the state. There were a lot of schools in the Alpine School District and an equal share in the Lake Mountain School District who participated, and so it was a good event. Any reports from council?
Something real quick.
Yep.
So I attended the Utah Lake, what do they call it? The Utah Lake
Authority.
Festival or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
On Saturday. So they hold over at Utah Lake State Park, right? Super great, super fun. A huge undertaking for not a very big staff. But I just want to encourage all of our residents and us, and like next year to attend this thing. It's super great. It really portrays what we're trying to do for Utah Lake. But I also want to acknowledge Saratoga Springs for embracing the lakeside house thing, right? That could have been done all over the county, and it wasn't. There's a lot of stuff that is just industrial and stuff like that near the lake, but we've actually embraced that, and I really love that. Like when we took the boat out a couple of weekends ago, my kids were like, who lives in that house? Because it's literally right up against the lake, right? And so I'm really proud of us for doing that. I never even thought about it before until there was this conversation about my age, right? People thinking how horrible Utah Lake is, but it's getting so much better. And that as a city, we've embraced it. And we have lakeside houses or whatever you want to call them, right? So I really love that. But just a big encouragement. It was a super incredible festival that they put on. Again, they had paddleboard jousting and they had homemade boats that you could, compete with.
Sink in.
Yeah, sink in, exactly. And they did. And just vendors like crazy. The Provo Farmers Market was there. But what a great undertaking by our ULA board and their small amount of people they have there. But anyway,
So
it
I
was
have
really
a
great.
quick follow-up to that because I used to be on the ULA.
Yeah.
So the lake, contrary to what a lot of people say, is quite healthy and quite a robust ecosystem. It is a very turbid lake. It's never going to be, the blue to the
Bear
8-foot
Lake.
bottom lake, right? But it is an extremely healthy ecosystem. There's a lot of fish, a lot of birds, it's a very healthy lake. One other thing I forgot to mention is I attended LPC on Monday, and I don't know if it was intended to be this way, but they read us a list of potential items coming to the next session, and it's quite scary. And it's, we're still a ways away, but I know as a league, we're preparing now for a lot of overreach. So everybody get ready for that.
That's fun.
was there virtually.
Oh, you on the line?
I was on
Yeah.
and I,
What'd you think of that?
yes.
Hang on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was in line for the legislative policy, and just for the public, that's the League of Cities and Towns, and so that's all the cities and towns in the state. I think it's about 3,000 that work together, and yeah, there were some things that will be possibly detrimental to our city if they are passed, so we will see about those things. I also attended the UDOT training to figure out how UDOT funding works with Engineer McCrae, who's over here today, and it was very helpful. It was the first of 4 sessions, so I'll report back on how to get more transportation funding, but very helpful to understand how the state works, what their vision is, and yeah, I'll try to report back notes from that in a couple weeks.
Okay, anybody else?
Last week, I was able to attend a number of ribbon cutting ceremonies and events with the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm just grateful for the businesses that have chosen Saratoga Springs and to live and work. And then last, was it Monday, we also had an open house with the ULA, the Utah Lake Authority, and grateful for the residents that came out and expressed opinions about Inlet Park in particular, and then also that there will, if you weren't able to attend that day, there will be further opportunities for public comment.
You can go online right now and
You-
even
yeah.
comments. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Can we just note there's a wildfire preparedness thing on Thursday here, I believe at 6 p.m. Is that correct?
That's
So
correct.
if any public want to come, I'll try to be here too.
Okay, I need to make a list because I keep remembering new things. So, everybody knows yesterday was the start of Monday Fun Days. It was the best attended Monday Fun Day kickoff I've been to since I've been going to those, which is a very long time. It was, and it was Scales and Tails, which we've done every year for a long time. but it was a great crowd. A lot of people there. It was really successful. I think we're going to have a great summer of festivals, and this is our last council meeting before Splash Day. So a week from Wednesday starts our Splash Days events. It goes Wednesday through Saturday, with a carnival each night, Wednesday through Saturday. Okay, advance tickets can be purchased for a discount downstairs, if that interests you. But just we're looking forward to seeing the city come out and participate. It's always a fun event. Finally, I was notified, and everyone will get an email in the next couple of days. There will be another ribbon cutting in a couple of weeks on a butcher shop in the Redwood Square subdivision where the back nine just opened last week. So look for that in your calendars. Anything else? Administration, Mark. Oh, Rob, go ahead.
Is this working now?
Yep.
Okay. Back on the 22nd, I attended my first meeting with the Jordan River Watershed Council meeting, and it was very interesting. The group there, the Great Salt Lake Basin Integrated Public Plan Engagement presentation was given, talking about looking for input from all the cities and all the shareholders as to what can we do to help improve the situation with the Great Salt Lake lower water levels. And they did it in a way that was very helpful, where everyone was able to put in open-ended their ideas, and then we're able to consolidate those, and they'll continue to do that while they present a plan moving forward. And part of that's integrated is the Jordan River, because there's a lot of water that is actually lost as it goes down through evaporation and what's the name of those big weeds?
Phragmite.
Yeah, the phragmite. They, I guess, take quite a bit of water, and they just suck it right out of the river before it ever gets to its intended destination. So that was information that I had not known before, and so that was pretty interesting. The other part is I always would, in the Salt Lake area, up in the hills, want to walk my dog, but I couldn't. And now I know why, because the watershed there, there's E. coli bacteria that is usually coming mostly from animals that get into the drinking water. Now, they didn't talk about us here so much, but I found that rather interesting that some of the E. coli in the water sources is a little higher than it should be. Not dangerous, but a little higher than it should be. But it really opened my eyes to how we need to protect those areas outside of where we actually live. So it was a great meeting.
Mark?
Mayor and Council, thank you very much. Ditto Splash. It's going to be an exciting thing. Staff has done an amazing job in preparing for it and look forward to having the community out for that. We have no need for a closed session this evening. So other than that, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Report item 4, the department reports, they're in your packet. If there's not any questions, we'll move beyond those. Okay, if you do have questions on those, you can reach out to those departments. We'll go to consent items. We'll take a motion on consent item 1.
Consent items.
Okay, we got a first from Councilmember Davenport, a second from Councilmember Wilson. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Any any opposed? That passes unanimously. We'll go to budget fiscal year 26-27. Presentation from a budget officer or executive officer of a property tax impact schedule as a separate document from other budget documents. Is this you, Mark? No,
Yeah,
Spencer.
We'll tag team it here.
Okay.
I'll get it started. Mayor and Council, as is required this year by new state legislation, you have before you on the screen and as in front of each of you, the proposed property tax impact schedule, which anticipates a rate increase from 0.000976 to 0.001524 to generate approximately $3.1 million in a property tax increase. This information has been made available for the public and obviously available electronically here as well. And tonight on the agenda, we have a couple of other budget items, but this particular item shows the the property tax impact of what would happen that would not be funded if you did not move forward with the property tax increase. And so in the April, or in the August 11th Truth and Taxation hearing. So wanted to just make sure we presented this information to you. Happy to tackle any questions that you may have.
This is just a presentation of the document, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'll move on from that, unless there's any questions. Okay,
So you get to be here every time?
thank you for presenting this to us again.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. Okay, we'll go to public hearings. Nikki, can I read the public hearing thing once for all 3 public hearings? Is that okay? If I read
No,
the, no,
Mayor, you have to, so number 1 has to be its own public hearing, so you cannot, they have to be
right,
separate.
but I'm saying, can I just read this once about public hearings and then open a public hearing for each one of them
Oh,
as we
the
get to
intro,
it?
yes.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna go to the public hearings 1 through 3, and we'll do them all separately. Let's just, I'll do it in a minute. So let's go to number 1 is a compensation increase for defined executive municipal officers. I don't believe there's an action item on this, it just gets presented, correct? Okay.
Correct.
And Spencer,
So that is part of the budget. A couple years ago, the state legislative put a new requirement in as part of the budget process. We have to call out executive staff. That list that is part of the budget presentation here are those executive staff. There's 2 components, a market adjustment, which is each year we go out and do a survey of comparable cities and all that based on population in the area. And then we also have a merit increase, and those 2 combined equal out to, this is not like promised or anything like that. This is, the staff could potentially get that.
okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing for the public hearing item 1 on the agenda. Please be respectful in your comments. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter. Please avoid repetitive comments. Is anyone here for the public hearing item number 1? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing on public hearing item number 1. That has been presented. We'll go to public hearing item 2. Consideration of ordinance 26-26. Spencer.
So Mayor and Council, this is the interim budget. This year is a little bit different due to the property tax that we're proposing. The state changed a bunch of laws. Normally, at this time, we would be presenting the final budget, but the state changed it so that way, as part of the budget process now, if we do a property tax increase, we have to present a tentative budget, which we always had to do, an interim budget, which will basically be the acting budget until the August 11th meeting. And then at the August 11th meeting, as part of the property tax process, you guys will have the opportunity to vote on the final budget. We presented the tentative budget last meeting. There's no changes from that presentation from the tentative budget to the interim budget. It's the same exact proposal. So if you have any questions for staff, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Going off the same public hearing script, I'll open the public hearing for public hearing item 2. Is there anybody here for public comment on public hearing item number 2? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing for public hearing item number 2 and open up for council comment. Hit your buttons if you have a comment. Got it.
It's off. With the discussions today amongst several of us, I think we've called each other and played phone tag. Just so that we can be all more informed, I would propose that we have a working session on this. Am I doing this right? I think I am, right? Oh, okay, I'll wait.
I mean, we don't have to have discussion before you want to continue it. We just have to, would not,
Vote on it.
right? Is that how that works? Kevin, Nikki, Chris?
Well, if there's discussion, I mean, do you want to make a motion on that or you want to wait for discussion?
I'll wait for discussion.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say, if you should, I would recommend having the public hearing if you're gonna
We just
table
had the
this.
public hearing.
Okay. Oh,
We closed it.
for 2 as well,
Yep.
okay.
Yep, we opened it
That
and
went
closed it.
fast. Okay.
I'd like to point out that there has been extensive discussion on this budget. And we're having to adopt an interim budget for now, but there's anticipation that once we go through the truth in taxation, that there will be a final approval once we hear publicly about that. But there's been a lot of work that's been done on this through this point with the city council in various workshops. I think that coming on to the city council early on, it was a lot of information on, especially when it comes to governmental accounting. In my private life, as a former banker type person, public accounting that type of accounting is very different than governmental accounting. So my point that I want to make to my fellow city council members is that there was a lot of discussion about these figures. We also knew that we needed to have a third fire station. We need to fund for the incoming officials in public safety, firefighters, additional law enforcement, which are desperately needed as our city has grown. And nothing here is too big of a surprise for me. And I mean, there are a couple of things that I would like to discuss a little bit further tonight if there's time for that. But I just want to remind everybody that we did have hearings, or not hearings, but workshops, and we did look at that. And I don't think there's anything that's a huge surprise here tonight.
Okay.
So I think we have had a couple workshops, but usually our workshops are loaded with gazillion presentations and information. So I don't feel like we've had adequate time to talk about this part. I mean, obviously we talk about the budget all the time, but it's so vast, it's so big. It's just here's the budget. Let's talk about this, but specifically like an item like this. Now, have we seen these numbers before? 100%, right? We absolutely have. But to have an actual discussion about these numbers, we haven't had that yet. And so I feel like that we should have a bigger discussion about, again, these numbers aren't a surprise, but a bigger discussion I feel like would be appropriate in the situation. That's just
Can I ask which numbers we're talking about?
just the compensation.
Okay.
Yeah. Compensation increase.
Okay, any other council comments?
I'd like to address the comments. I'd like to.
Hang on 1 second. Emma? Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Go ahead, Rob.
I looked at the compensation increase, and because of the way the state law is written, that we've got all of these members that of management that are considered executive. Quite frankly, you can get that information anywhere from the state. It's kind of it's a pro forma type of deal to have to put that in there, what market adjustments are and merit increases and things of that nature. I think it's more important that if this city council was looking for any kind of an increase in the stipend or reimbursement that we get for our time spent here, which I think by the time that everybody puts in their time, we're below minimum wage on the amount of time. Everyone would agree that we put a lot in there. That is certainly something that needs to be disclosed. Putting this here now, I think, really confuses the whole situation. The city, as my understanding, adopted the compensation plan using studies that show what people are being paid, other city managers in various roles are being paid, not just managers, engineers, and so on and so forth, those who would qualify for this disclosure. And we've, the prior city council members, which are a couple of them are here, albeit just a couple years, but about 3 years ago, is my understanding that this compensation structure was adopted. And that it was found that there were a number of individuals that worked for the city that were really below what would be considered the appropriate pay for the targeted amount in a mid-range. And so there was a plan, as I understand it, and I think staff can correct me if I'm mistaken, to implement this over time so there wasn't a huge budget hit right off the bat. And we're really, as I understand it, moving into our third year of that. And people have been moved up in their pay grades, and it's more appropriate. I think as a city, we definitely want to be competitive with our pay to keep good employees here in the city. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job of that. The thing that gives me pause, as I would imagine other members of our council, is the merit increase amount. There are a lot in the private sector that have not received raises. There are a lot in the public sector who have received reduced raises, but these are merit based on performance. If somebody performs well, then they should be able to receive a merit increase. We don't do COLAs. Part of that is, baked into the compensation plan as they go out and take a look at the amount that is being paid relative to other people in those positions. My issue is that the merit increase of 5% is a little bit too high for my liking. I would like to see it capped a little bit because that's what's been given out there. We're looking at a potential tax increase, and I think it's okay that we cap it at something less than 5%. But it not tie.
Can I clarify something?
Yeah.
It's a budget of 5%. That doesn't mean.
Well, a budget, yeah,
Yeah,
of 5%. Yeah, you're right, clarified, a budgeted increase of 5%. But I don't think I don't think that we should tie management's hands in that because some may earn quite a bit less than that, some may earn more than that, and we may need to keep somebody that may need a little bit more than that just to keep them here because they are a high performer. That seems to me to be the only issue that's giving individuals pause here tonight. I don't think it's going to make any difference moving forward unless, we can get all the data, but in the end, the compensation package is what it is. It's what has been approved, unless we want to redo the entire methodology. So really, the only outstanding question in my mind is what is the total increase? Should it be 5%? Should it be 4%? I tend to lean on the side that we, and some may say 3% or some none. But I think none is too little. I think 4% as a max would be appropriate given what we're looking at here. We've given a little. The city's given a little because we're asking the residents to pay more to be able to fund our public safety, which is desperately needed. That's where I fall on it.
Okay, Councilmember Wilson?
Yeah, my comment was a little bit different vein, but thank you for that, Councilmember Taylor. I think I want the public to know that this is a council who has hard discussions mostly. I think I spent at least 4 hours on the phone today and a couple other hours this last weekend talking about this issue among some other issues. And I do think it's really important to note that when we do things, we try to really weigh all the consequences. I feel like I haven't had quite the chance to look at every aspect of changing from 5% to 4% or a different percentage. I would prefer more time personally, just because I think I could, reach out to people on other councils in other cities. Some of them I've heard back from, some of them I haven't. I just think that a little bit more study would be beneficial for myself in feeling confident about this decision.
I feel like we have looked at this pretty extensively at this point, and we have budgeted. I think I'm with Councilmember Taylor, and I would be comfortable with a 4% increase, and also with the acknowledgement of that
Budgeted 4%.
Sorry, a potential of 4%, up to 4%. Also with the acknowledgement that we are going to be looking at this extensively in the fall, and so being able to provide stability for our staff at this point, I think, is important as we head into this new fiscal year. And I think some of the, if there are members of our staff that need additional or market increases, that we could do those at this time. So I would be comfortable at this point with the 4% if.
So am I the tiebreaker here? I think with my oops statement earlier, I think everybody kind of heard where I'm at. I'm kind of following where Audrey and, Councilmember Barton, Councilmember Wilson. We've had discussions and we have had other previous working sessions, and although the information has been clear and we've had opinions on it, I still don't feel grounded in my decision right now. So without feeling grounded, I usually go no. So for me to get to something where Councilman Taylor and Councilman Davenport I still need to do some more homework and counsel with other people on this as well. So I would vote, my right now is that I'd like to have another working session. And I don't know what that working session looks like. It might not look like the one in the past, and maybe it's a brief one where we get a little bit more time. We come with talking discussions and we spend 15 minutes. I don't know what that looks like, or if we need longer, but I would lean more towards I need more time.
No, hang on. I'm trying to follow
Well,
this.
you know,
All right.
it's what's on the agenda is to approve this. And Mayor, if it would be all right with you, I'd like to bring it to a roll call based on a motion I'd like to put forward.
Do we have any other discussion before we hear the motion? Okay. Go ahead, sorry.
I move to approve the public hearing item number 2, the 2027 interim budget, except for changing the net merit increase budget from 5% to 4%.
Okay, we got a first from Councilmember Taylor and a second from Councilmember Davenport. We'll do a roll call vote. Let me turn that on.
Clarification, what is, if we say yes, I think I know what that means, but if I say no,
We can make another motion.
Everybody take
okay,
it out?
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay, do a roll call vote. Wadman,
No.
Barton,
No.
Davenport,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Wilson.
No.
Okay, that motion fails. Do we have any other motions on public hearing item 2?
I make a motion, now somebody's gonna have to help me out with this. I make a motion for further discussion that we schedule a working session to discuss public hearing number 2.
Table it to the next meeting.
Well, no, for the decision to be made or voted on in
So
next
table to
meeting.
the next meeting with the direction to schedule a work session.
Exactly, with the direction to schedule a working session.
Second.
Okay, does that motion work, Kevin? Okay, we've got a first from Councilmember Wadman, a second from Councilmember Barton. The motion is to table public hearing item 2 to the next city council meeting, and with the direction of staff to schedule a work session in the interim. Can I ask a clarifying question? Does that have to be on a separate day, or can it be the day of that meeting?
Dave, can we do earlier or something like that?
Yeah, whatever
Okay,
works.
all right, we'll figure that out. Okay, let's do a roll call vote on that. Barton,
Yes.
Davenport,
No.
Taylor,
No.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wadman,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously, so that is tabled.
It's not unanimous.
I'm sorry, that passes 3-2, sorry. I'm just used to saying that. We'll go to public hearing item 3, budget amendment 5 for fiscal year 25-26, resolution R 2631.
Okay.
Spencer.
So this is budget amendment number 5. At the end of the year, usually we have to clean up some capital projects and things like that, whether we have finished the capital project, so we're defunding the remainder of the line, or sometimes those projects go over, and so having to increase those budgets. In addition, there's a couple revenue lines. As the city finance staff, we do conservative forecasting on all of our different revenues, and sometimes those revenues come in stronger than what we forecasted, and so those right there are showing those corrections. In addition, there is a grant or two going in there, and so we have to show that matching in as well as revenue with also expenditures. Any questions for staff at this time?
Are there any questions from council on this?
There was one item that was amended.
Oh, right, yeah. We got from Public Works a update on the cemetery. They had another payment come in just like a couple days ago. And so that was going to come in before the end of the fiscal year, so we changed that today. We emailed that out to you, but probably missed it. It was an extra $50,000 or so into the cemetery as a final payment as part of that project.
Was that an expense we incurred, or was that?
It's an expense.
It was an
yes.
expense we incurred?
Yeah,
for
they
the
submitted a final
construction?
billing for us,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and oftentimes with quantities and things of that nature, we get billed the quantities. We set a price for quantities and things of that nature, but that was, it's highlighted in yellow, account number 324737.
On the second page.
Second page.
Okay, yep. Okay, any other questions on budget item number 5, or
Amendment
sorry,
number
public hearing number 3. We need to hold a public hearing, so I will use the same script as I did earlier. We'll open the public hearing for public hearing item number 3, budget amendment number 5. Is there anybody here for public hearing item number 3? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing for public hearing item number 3, budget amendment number 5. Any other comments from the council? If not, I'll take a motion on public hearing item 3.
I move that we approve budget amendment number 5 for fiscal year 2026, resolution R26-31 dated today.
Okay, we've got a first from Councilmember Wilson,
Second.
second from Councilmember Wadman. We'll do a roll call vote. Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
That passes unanimously. We'll go to business item 1, site plan for Westport Business Park Lot 4, located approximately 2078 North Stagecoach Drive. Larry Lindstrom and Mark Johnson applicants.
Can we do these together or no? Separate.
Kevin, can we do these two items together?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to do business items 1 and 2 together. If you want to do present on both.
I like that.
Great.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
I think it
And
helps
we're-
with both, yeah.
And we have Larry and Mark.
Larry, feel free to have a
You
seat
can
right
sit
here
down
if
and
you'd
it's
like.
fine.
Yeah,
Yep.
got a microphone.
Okay, so we brought, oh. Is this the right one? I don't think this is the right one. No.
While you're getting that ready, we saw this 2 weeks ago. I think everybody saw the changes made. I think it addresses the concerns the council had. So we're gonna let him do his thing, but I think this one's gonna be all right.
It's the 6.2 update. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, as you mentioned, everything complies now. Once they did add the interconnection that was required, or that we talked about up at the, it's the top.
Can you get a little closer to your mic?
Sorry, it's the top right of the screen. You can see I wish I had a pointer. Anyways, yeah, it's top right of the screen. You can see the connection that goes off to Lot 5, which is the portion just north of that. I added, for green arrows is the vehicular connection, the blue is the pedestrian connection, so you can see they connect everywhere that they are required to. Landscaping plans will be updated, all the other plans will be updated. They did give me the site plan, an updated one of those, but the rest of those will be updated prior to the final approval. But it doesn't affect it that much. They had extra, so they'll be good on that. Elevations are all still the same, nothing changed on those. Trash enclosure, all that's still the same. We can go past that. Show you the 5 too. Sorry.
So that was for business
That was
item.
4, this is 5. So that was business
Okay,
item
perfect.
number 1, this is number 2. And you can see on the bottom right, you can see where that connection is made a little better there. Again, same with the,
So it's the same
Different
as
types of
last 2 weeks ago, just with
Yeah.
the additional connectivity.
and then
Okay.
5 hadn't come to you prior, so this is
Right.
new, so. They do meet all the landscaping on that, they have extra there, they had extra parking spaces, so when those were taken away to add that connection, it didn't make them have a deficit, they still have above what they need. Same with the Lot 4, which is that one to the south, the bigger one. This is these are elevations showing what Lot 5 looks like. Have you seen this before for the office warehouse where we were changing the standards for the smaller buildings? So, yeah, and they meet all the glass, the different colors, everything needed on that. It's 2 tenants, 2 drive-throughs, but they'll have 2 tenants. They'll be less than the 2,000 square feet, so they can be 2 takeout restaurants if they want. They can be retail, whatever they need in there. And they'll have the parking for that. But do you have any questions on either of those?
No. Does the applicant have anything to add?
I don't, do you, Larry?
Well, I'm just really excited because I look back through my records. I paid my first fee of this in January of 2021 for this site, and I'm excited to get something built. So it's been a long time.
Thank you. Any questions from the council on this?
Not a question, but a comment. Thank you. You really responded to my concerns from 2 weeks ago, and I really like what you've done, and I really appreciate the extra effort that you put in there to get it where it complies. I think this is going to work very well, but I thank you for your willingness to work with us on that.
Okay. If there are no other council comments, I'll entertain sorry, go ahead. Councilmember Wadman.
Obviously, we have a lot of relationships here with former Mayor Johnson and stuff, but I want to say thank you to what Councilman Taylor echoed too. He brought up some concerns last time, and I walked down there. I meant to go walk through there with him, but I appreciate the work that you did into this and the responses that you gave to council, because it has been a while since January of 2021, I guess. But this is what we look for, is coming together, and I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, any other council comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion on business item 1 and 2.
I'll make an emotion. I move that the city council approve the requested site plan for Westport Business Park, Lot 4 and Lot 5, located at 2078. I take it that's the address for both at the moment?
That's,
No, it's not.
Approximate.
I think that's the one for lot 5.
Just approximate.
Okay, approximately
Yeah, they have
20.
different addresses, but
Lots 4 and Lot 5 are located approximately at 2078 North Stagecoach Drive with findings and conditions in the staff report.
Okay. Yeah, someone moved my stuff here. Okay, we've got a first from Councilmember Taylor and a second from Councilmember Barton. We'll do a roll call vote. Davenport,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wadman,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
That passes unanimously. Thank you, and thank you for working with us.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Okay, we're going to go to business item 3, site plan for Winco Foods located at 353 West Lake Drive. Lizama, WI as applicant.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the Winco site plan. It's 9.33 acres at approximately 353 West Lake Drive. You can see that location here indicated by the yellow dot. This is just west of the Home Depot and the liquor store. You can see here that the site plan does comply with most of our codes here. There is one shall comply, which we'll explain in just a moment. This is the site plan that they presented to us. It has adequate parking, good access. This is the landscape plan that they presented. It meets all of our requirements, including having the pedestrian walkway down the middle for larger parking lots. As far as the landscape goes, it should be mentioned that there is 9% of the site is landscaped. Our code requires 20%. So the remaining 11%, where is that coming from? So to explain that further, this is part of Plat G of the Saratoga Springs Commercial Plat. And so you can see that here. This is what the plat looks like. So lot 714 on your screen there, that's the Winco site. There will also be, parcel A is coming in a later phase, which would be a detention pond. Landscape is to be landscaped. So the remaining landscaping would be coming with the future phase. It's not on the Winco lot, but it will be coming. And so we do have a letter here from the master developer, WPI, confirming this information. And we do have the plat that also shows that parcel. So that is the shall comply that you see in your packet. And we do have the applicant here that can speak more to that if you have further questions. And then here are the elevations. The elevations do meet our code. They've altered these. The original elevations that they proposed did not meet our code, and so they've modified it to meet our code, and you can see that here. And then this is what the floor plan looks like. Any
What direction
questions?
does it face?
So, yeah, the front of the store would be facing north.
Okay,
Towards Zion.
Yeah, correct, yeah. So Lake Drive, if we go back to this plat here, or maybe even go back to the map. So you can see Lake Drive is that main road that kind of runs through this
Yep.
area. It would face that, so there'd be the parking lot, and then the building would face that, and the back of the building would face the south, that land.
so the majority of the parking island is between Lake Drive and the building?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Which slide did you want to see? I'm sorry. This
That's
one?
the floor plan?
Yeah, floor plan.
Checking out your route? Yeah, okay. Is there anything else from the applicant to add?
No, sir. I'm just here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, when are you gonna open?
Hopefully
You
very
said any
soon.
question.
We have been working diligently on getting this entitled, and we are actually ready to submit for permits.
Okay.
Once I get this finalized, and then they start construction pretty quickly once we get a permit.
What's the
I'm
construction?
representing Winco.
What's the
but,
construction timeline?
271 days.
Not 272? Okay. Okay, thank you. Austin, is that, you got it all?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's everything, yep.
Okay, I'll open up for council comments.
Oh, I do have a question on the landscaping. That's 11% short of what would typically be required. It's going to be in the next part. How does staff track that so that when the next application comes in for a site plan in that next part, that we're sure that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, so there's a couple of things that we do. One is we have a planner assigned over a specific area, and so they're familiar with the other plats. So Saratoga Springs Commercial is assigned to a single planner, and they're familiar with that. So they track it that way, but also this would be tacked on to the next submittal. So the next submittal would be flagged, having a condition that would have to come forward.
If I could also interject briefly, the next item on the agenda is a reimbursement agreement, which would actually be building the storm drain line that's seen right on the very bottom of this map. And it's a storm drain line that benefits properties to the west, but that I believe that detention basin would be coming in as part of that. So the next item on the agenda could be seen as perhaps the extension of precursor to that being completed.
If I could add to that, I've been tracking the Plat G development as well, as it does affect our lot and our development, and I believe that is correct. Should be part of that phase as the overall storm drain system, so yes.
And that's a reimbursement agreement.
Mark, does that have to be done before?
I don't know necessarily if it has to be done before. I'm not sure how this site would be, but they're somewhat related in the sense that they'll build that storm drain line the entire, through the width of the property, the WPI properties, and then they would have that detention basin, I believe, as part of that.
How long do we give them to do that? So we don't want 11% less landscaping for, say, 5 years, right? What is the?
Yeah, well, being that this is a detention basin and it's required for the storm drainage for this entire site, I mean, it's a pretty sure thing that it's going to come forward. It's not like it's just a random piece of landscaping, right? It's actually critical for the infrastructure.
I was gonna say though, do we use the detention basin count for like pretty landscaping? Because boo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we do that, but in my head, I'm like, ew. Right? But I get it. I know we've done it, but yeah. Okay, that's.
Does that basin, would that bring it up to the full 20% with just that, or is there additional?
It would exceed the 20%. So the exact numbers are, so they're required to provide 43,000 square feet. That basin, that parcel A is 58,000 square feet.
Can we go back to the
the parking lot map. Yeah, I really appreciate this walkway in the middle. I'll be honest, when I was looking at this earlier, I was thinking like, where can I park? I only park by those because it turns out that getting 2 small children out of car seats is really dangerous in the middle of a parking lot unless you can put them on a sidewalk. So I was like, oh, there's only like 20 spaces I can park at Winco and go in. So this meets our code. I have no objections to it. But for staff to consider if there's ever a way to incentivize more of these walkways and parking lots, that would be super helpful for the 50% of our city that are young kids. So.
Hold on. Put that on the record, Rob. What'd you say?
And I said, and old people
Okay.
like me.
Okay, any other council comments on business item 3?
271 days is February 28th, by the way.
I started to panic as soon as I said it. I feel I might be 3 weeks off roughly.
I can tell you when this is going to be reported on Saratoga Springs Link.
Yeah.
There are a lot of disappointed people that it won't be done this year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It'll just make grand opening all the more grand, right?
Yeah, we definitely, our architectural firm took over the entitlement process that I think was started July of last year. We were handed the project and took over not only the entitlement, but the design. So we're going to see it all the way through. And believe me, we want to push this one through as well. So Winco's a very successful company. They're very customer friendly, and we have a lot of high demand for them. So we are one of their principal architects. So
Okay.
we do a lot of their work.
Thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate
yes,
it.
sir.
If there's no other comments from the council, entertain a motion on business item 3.
I move that we approve business item 3 on the agenda. The site plan Winco is located at 353 Lake Drive, Lee, Lizama, with all the and findings in the staff report.
I second the motion.
Okay, we got a first from council member Wadman and a second from council member Wilson. We'll do a roll call vote. Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
That passes unanimously. We go to business item 4, reimbursement agreement for Saratoga Springs Commercial Plat G. And Lee, you're on the clock. Just okay. Thanks.
I've already written it down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Westlake Partners LLC Resolution R2630.
All right.
Dan.
Good evening.
Welcome, Dan.
Thank you. Is that working? Okay.
Eat the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. So this proposed reimbursement agreement is, Mark pointed it out on the last slide we were looking at. It's for a storm drain on Saratoga Springs Commercial Plat G. It's about 2,000 feet of storm drain. It's a master plan storm drain, and where Saratoga Springs Commercial Plat G ties in, that half of it is going to be upsize only because they are using that storm drain, and about the other half they're not using it all, so that's full reimbursement. So we got full reimbursement on part, upsize only on the other part, 2,000 feet roughly, and it comes out to $351,985.25.
Let's not forget that quarter.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Let's not forget that.
This is on
Okay.
the south end of that. It
Right.
kind of goes it ties in by Home Depot, heads straight west all the way till you run into Pioneer Crossing up there, and serves all the land west of there.
Okay. Thank you. I'll open up to council comments or questions.
Yeah, and just a clarifying question for the staff, and this is really maybe more for the public, but when we have a new commercial, brand new commercial coming in, we pay them to upsize a line for the full build out of our city. Is that correct?
That is correct. This has been part of our master planning process for a number of years. And so we built it, behind where Home Depot is. And we've kind of, as we've been building, so when Costco came in, they built a segment, and then DI built a segment, and so on. And so we've been kind of incrementally building this line so that it's available in the future. And the intent is so that we don't have to rip up roads in the future, and we don't have to necessarily cause other impacts at some point in the future because we've already built it, and we're not having to come back in and rip out landscaping and things of that nature. So it's part of the overall infrastructure planning, and we do this quite frequently with many different projects.
Thank you. I just want to point out to residents how smart and how unusual that is. When I was talking to some other council members in a nearby city who just could not believe that we had the correct size of water lines and sewer lines and pipes, and that we weren't going and ripping up roads and ripping up landscaping and replacing them. Like, that is actually such an unusual thing. So I just want to give major props to our engineers and city staff for working on that for so many years. That's something that no one will ever see, hopefully, right? And except the people repairing sewer lines. But I think that in general, it is such a wise thing that we are doing, even though it looks like, oh, we were spending a lot of money. We were spending a lot of money to save a lot of money down the road and having to redo this. So I just want to point that out.
Can I add to that too? I just want to say that one of the things the city does to save costs as well, that's a little unique with the reimbursements, is that we only pay for the upsize cost. Other cities will build into their impact fees. They're basically where it's 100% funded for the entire improvement. We only reimburse for the upsize cost. So that's a way that we also save costs, so that the real impact is borne by the developer, and they pay their proportionate share of that improvement.
Thank you. Any other council comments on business item 4? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve business item number 4 is listed on the agenda
With any staff findings and conditions.
with any staff and findings and conditions,
If there are any.
if there are any.
Okay. First from Councilmember Barton,
I'll second.
second from Davenport.
Yep.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
That passes unanimously. We'll go to business item 5, amendments to Title 19 Land Development Code for the City of Saratoga Springs. Austin.
All right, thank you. So this is a returning item. This item was tabled. The city council asked that we return with some examples. So staff has gone ahead and done that, and we can kind of go through those. So just as a reminder or a recap, this is essentially creating an exception for the landscape buffer requirements. Typically, we require a 5-foot landscape buffer around all the buildings, but we are proposing that there be an exception for that. We currently have an exception for drive-through windows, and we're proposing to add 2 more, which would be for if a corner of a building is adjacent to a drive-through, and if there is a loading bay or a roll-up door. So here's some examples. So what is a bollard? A bollard are these black things that you see here. So this is City Hall. You can see that we have those to prevent cars, as functions as kind of a stop at some of the parking stalls, but also to limit access up onto the sidewalk area there in front of City Hall. You can see how we've actually used these bollards to protect the building at the library drop-off window. So here, there is no 5-foot landscape buffer, right, because you're driving up to the building. So the bollards, the purpose of those is to protect the building. And you can see how that's been implemented. Some other examples around town. So this is the KFC. They're protecting their corners with bollards, and you can see that the landscaping is closer to the building on this side of the building because of the drive-through window. The Habit Burger does also implements this on the corner there. The Dunkin' Donuts in Lehigh does this as well on the corner there. You can see the yellow bollard. And then some other examples here in town. We have the Dos Potrillos and Taco Bell. And then these are on 2100 North in Lehigh. You can see that the drive-through gets really close to these buildings, and again, they're using the bollards. So that's kind of what we're proposing with regards to the building buffer exception on the corners. The other part that we're looking at is loading bays. So we came up with the definition for a loading bay. What is a loading bay? It's essentially a garage door or a roll-up door used to access or unload things into a building, but can be used for other things. So for example, you might have one like on the break, they use it as like part of their restaurant feature to have outdoor, indoor dining. So here's some examples of what that looks like. So Saratoga Town Center, this is just north of the old McDonald's. That's that new building there. They have these these doors that go up there. So you can see one right there where there is no landscaping in front of it. So we've actually kind of been in practice, we've been granting an exception for this, but we don't have a code that actually says that. So we're trying to make the code match the way we've actually been doing this in practice. You can see the AutoZone here. They have their loading door there. Again, the pavement runs right up to the building. Here's the break. They don't have that 5-foot landscape buffer there either. And so those are the examples of that. Any questions?
Thank you, Austin. I'll turn it over to the council for questions or comments.
Lance, you gonna go? I'll go.
Yeah, I got, so the bollard, is there a standard for that? I mean, can you say what it's called? What are they called again?
Bollards.
Bollards.
Yeah.
Metal pole.
Yeah, is there I mean, is it gonna stop a 2-ton vehicle going 5 miles an hour? Is there a standard?
That's a question outside of my wheelhouse. I
Okay.
don't know if Dan knows the answer to that, but
Is there a,
yeah. So I do know that it goes several feet underground, and so there's a footing. Just imagine like a basketball hoop or something, kind of like that. It's the same thought process. You pour the concrete around it, so it's a steel pole.
okay. Because I was just
essentially
wondering if
underground.
there's a standard, because I've come out of Walmart,
Yeah,
there's those over.
I
so-
don't know if there's an actual standard for that.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
there's
Those are
just different
discount ones.
sizes, and so depending on how you build the foundation under that, it
But
would
we as a
hold-
city don't require,
No, we don't have a
Okay.
standard on that
Okay.
as a city.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I actually had a, oh, sorry, Rob.
No,
do you
go
want
ahead.
well, then we better do that first. Okay. So I guess my question really is, I think this came up last time, we have so many exceptions to our code that we granted. So how did that happen, or why, or what? Like, what was the reasoning behind all of that? Because that's a lot in our city that
Yeah.
already have it. So I'm just kind of wondering how that happened. Was it us? Was it you? Was it like it was an okay thing, or how did that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's a mix of different things. So the AutoZone is kind of in the older part of town. It's before we had the code.
What did he just call our part of town? What? Just kidding. Just kidding. Keep going.
It's what's the politically correct terminology for that? It's the more aged.
advanced,
It's the
or-
advanced part of town.
Councilman Taylor lives over there.
Let's see. Also, let's think. Some of the other ones that we have. So over kind of by Smith's in that area, it's part of a community plan, and so there are exceptions built into the community plan. So because of that, they're not required to follow every requirement of Title 19, and so that's how that happened. And then some of the other ones. I think there may be one or two that maybe have got missed in a review, but the
Most of
majority of
them are
them
because of
are
things like that.
actually because
Yes.
of the reasons
Yeah.
that I just mentioned.
Okay, here's my only other question. Color wise, like, where's our requirement on that? I know you guys have probably seen the St. John's building has bright, super huge yellow ones as you go around their building right there. They're so ugly. And that's okay. I just don't know if like requirement wise. Yellow's fine, except when it's against a very nice looking tan grayish building, right? What's the, and again, that's just again preference for me, but do we have a code on what color they can put on there or anything like that?
We do not have a
Oh, they just
color.
chose yellow to be that bright?
We would, yeah, they probably just chose yellow. Actually, the Winco that we just looked at has yellow ones.
Yeah, I noticed some do and some don't, and so I
so-
was kind of wondering what we required, if it was just like a preference
But
for
we do not have any requirement
Okay.
in the code. We'd have to
We
create a new
would,
code.
we would restrict signage on those, correct?
Correct, yeah, the signage would be regulated. That's correct.
I will just say, as you were going through those examples, Austin, I was noticing like, hey, when they match the colors like this one right here in AutoZone,
Yeah,
looks
some of them do and some
fine.
of them don't.
Some of them looked like great and they matched and some of them didn't. It would be
Yeah.
nice to add that.
Yeah.
This doesn't have to, this, I'm happy with this passing, but I will say like on the, on the ones where it matches, I just think
It's
it
like the St. John's,
does.
so you don't see the building.
Yeah, this
anymore, you see
Dunkin'
the bright
Donuts
yellow.
one, I was like, oh, high yellow bollard,
Yeah.
versus some of them were not, like this one is very hard to even see.
Yeah. Yeah,
This is
it's
right by
not
the
like a
library, right?
Yeah,
By where
that's the
I drove off, so.
library, yeah. I mean, I think, we don't have a code for it. It would be nice if, they matched it with like the accent colors of the buildings.
I would love to see a code come back with that, but
So my suggestion would be, if you want to make a motion, to include that direction in a motion for a future meeting.
If I could, I think there's also an element of high visibility in some cases, and so I'm not sure You know, for example, some seem to choose to match their building. I know we originally had yellow bollards being installed out in front of our building here, and I believe there was like a panic from the designers, and they ended up getting painted so that it was less obtrusive. So I would say we could micromanage to that level if you'd like to, or you could leave it and, you know, let the buildings or let those people, you know, have choices. So it really comes down to how you want to direct us to do that or not.
Well, I feel like I guess the St. John's building literally is as you come into our city, what do we call that area? Overlay. The overlay, right? Yeah, the gateway overlay. It's so bright and like so out of place that maybe in those areas we can't. I don't know. I mean, it's too late, I guess, for St. John's, but I'm kind of mixed on that. Like, I think they look bad yellow, but I understand the visibility side of it. That's hard.
I don't mind it being contrasting color. If you see here in the AutoZone, it's a red. I just think that whatever their color scheme is, they can pick whatever color from that works for them. That can be contrasting or the same depending on their preferences. I
don't want to be getting into the weeds like that. I mean, I hate to legislate what color your bollard should be. Let the designers figure it out. You know, I don't think it's that big a deal whether it's yellow, red, or the same color as the building. The idea behind them, first and foremost, as I understand it, is protect the building from a vehicle crashing into it, protect the occupants of the building, to slow the vehicle down at least so where it could potentially happen. As far as colors go, I'm not interested in legislating down to that level.
I'm a believer that form follows function, and so there would be times where yellow may be an appropriate color decision, and there are other times where more of a harmonious color scheme would be appropriate.
Yeah, can we put something that's kind of a little bit of, I don't know, that's really hard, because I'm like really in the middle of this. Because it looks so bad at St. John's. I love St. John's, sorry, you guys, like, it's a great building, right? But it looks so out of place, and it's just so.
So I would.
But I don't know if they
kind of
need it
lean
for that.
towards letting design function dictate design, and letting people make that decision.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve that the city council approve the proposed code amendments to chapter 19.02 and 19.16 with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Motion.
Okay. We have a first from Councilmember Davenport, a second from Councilmember Wilson. We'll do a roll call vote. Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, kind of.
Just the gateway overlay, that's the part I care about,
Okay.
but, yeah, yeah.
So, may I make a suggestion then?
Yeah.
Can someone support me in asking staff to see what our neighboring cities do when it comes to that, and just
100%.
bringing that
That'd be
back
great.
at some point?
Yeah,
Okay.
would love that. Be great.
Thank you, Austin. Okay, is there anything for business item 6?
I just have one really quick.
Yep.
I'd like to bring forth to you guys a small business advisory committee. Thanks to Rob I had called it a small business commission, or what did I call it when I was talking about it? I don't remember, something, but he said, no, let's do an advisory committee. It makes it sound right. And so I have a resolution I'd send forward to you guys and to Mark and to Kevin and everything like that as well, if you guys don't mind looking at it when you can. Not a huge hurry, but I'd like to get it started when we can, as soon as we can. But we'll talk about it more and have more questions about it later and stuff like that. But just a heads up, I kind of wanted to get that going.
Okay, are you working with chamber?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to understand just a little bit more, at least kind of, we're not acting on it. Is this okay that I?
Yeah,
make
no,
some
this is
comments?
just council comments.
Yeah. It's my understanding that this would just be an advisory committee only that would have no legislative powers. It's just a way for business owners to be able to feedback to the council the things that they see that would be beneficial for doing business or doing business within our city easier. Is that my
Yeah, so
understanding?
not a board.
What's
right?
that?
Not a board.
Not a board.
Just a, hey,
They
we
have no,
noticed this is
they have no powers to create legislation or anything. It's just advisory in nature only.
Yep.
Would, clarification.
that's my
Audrey,
view, that's my
But there
idea.
would there be somebody from city council?
We could have a representative on there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to talk. Again, there's lots of questions that we'll have to have answered and stuff like that. But
would we want this, I think this is a great idea, by the way. Do we want this to be primarily staffed by Saratoga Springs business owners who are residents? Like, does it
I'm
matter?
comfortable with people
With
who own
both.
businesses in Saratoga Springs,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think our
The
economic.
idea is to just kind of check out our code and that kind of stuff, right? And kind
Yeah.
of see, hey, what's,
Yeah.
I think
And I think
economic-
that's great, if we can prioritize some resident involvement, because if it's all owners who don't live in the city, I would like some resident involvement, at least.
Okay, so I
think there's
from what
plenty
I'm
who do,
hearing, I think
so.
there's some direction there. I like economic development involved, which would probably mean Katie gets involved. Somewhere?
Doug,
No.
we'll have Doug and Owen.
Doug and Owen, sorry.
Would reach out.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
And then we have one other item. I'm going to turn it back over to Mark. We may have to make one small adjustment.
Yeah, so we do have one more official item that we need to do kind of in preparation for the August Truth and Taxation hearing. At one point, when we will get from the county, we should get the new tax rates, and then we'll have to basically have a public hearing on those tax rates. Kevin asked the question of.
Just public meeting, just a public meeting adopt. So what happens is the assessor's office has to look at all the values, and they kind of down to the percentage point, they give us what the tax rate is. We have a proposed tax rate, but they look at the assessed values for the year and give us a more precise number. And that's the number that I'm probably not speaking in the microphone, but that's the number that you adopt at the last, basically ends up being the last meeting in June, or like the last week of June. The state statute says by June 22nd, they have to submit that. They call it the certified tax rate for you to adopt.
So if we're lucky and we get it in enough time that we could put it on our next council agenda, which I believe would be the 16th, then that would be fine, and it could coincide with the item that you guys tabled tonight.
I got what you're saying.
Or would you like us to amend the motion today and do them both at the same meeting, so that we basically could consolidate those? If we don't get the information, we would just do it sometime before the end of June and kind of consolidate those into one meeting. What is your thoughts? Would you like two separate meetings?
So let me make a recommendation. Who made the first on number 2?
Public
made the
hearing number
first
2.
one?
Who made the first motion on public hearing 2? Was it Lance? Okay, so I think the recommendation would be to amend your motion. Do we have to reconsider first?
Yeah, you'd have to do a motion to reconsider, and it'd have to be the council member who
made the motion?
Made the motion.
Okay, are you
and
willing to
the
reconsider
second motion.
public hearing 2?
Sure.
Now, if I could, before we go through with that, we could do two separate meetings, and the one item could be just that taxation piece at a separate meeting.
Like later in June?
Later in June when we get it, or, we just don't know the timing of when we're gonna get the information from the county to do that. But we could also do the 16th and then that special meeting, or we could do them and just wait until we've got that and do one solid meeting.
I've
So-
got some language we can use, I think. So you have a first to reconsider public hearing 2. Do you have a second to reconsider public hearing 2? Okay, let's take a vote on that.
I want some discussion on that first, though.
To
because-
reconsider?
Yeah, discussion on the because I voted no on that one.
Okay.
And my reasoning for voting no were very specific. Now we're adding a new dimension to that motion, which puts me in a weird spot. If I say no, then I say no to consolidating this as well.
No, I think you're good. I think you're okay.
The motion would be to amend the motion.
So we'd have to
but
reconsider
only-
first and then make a motion?
Only basically to table it to the later meeting in June.
Is-
I don't
Okay, so
know, I
procedural
introduced this
benefit- so
idea,
hang
and
on.
it's
Is there a
probably a
benefit to
fly in the
consolidating that?
ointment, but.
So,
I'm just
so
not-
procedurally, Kevin, do we have to reconsider the motion first?
You'd have to have a motion to reconsider.
And then we vote on that? And then we make a motion,
Make a
a
motion.
new motion on public hearing item 2? To amend
Yeah,
the-
you
the
could do that, or
existing.
you could do it, I think that would probably be up to the recorder what's easiest and for the record, but the motion could be to amend the motion.
That can, so we don't
or
need to reconsider, we just
to
amend.
Basically replace the motion. It's probably not that big of an issue, because the fact is you still have to have a June 16th meeting.
Okay?
And then the county has told us essentially that it won't be until June 22nd. So you will have to have
So
another meeting
my
on the
recommendation to
certified
amend
tax
would be
rate.
to table public hearing 2 until we have the data from the county to have the discussion at the next available meeting from then.
Would it be a special meeting?
Well, we're gonna have to have a meeting on the 23rd no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah, you will, because they never bring it in
This is
by
what I
June.
was
So you wanna do
hoping
the
to avoid
16th no matter
tonight.
what?
This is exactly what I was hoping to avoid.
Yeah.
Let's just
So keep it on the 16th.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so we don't need to do anything then.
And you could also have it could be an electronic meeting, so you don't have to come here, because it's really just a formality
On the 23rd.
on the 23rd
Whatever that meeting is,
presumably.
okay.
Sometimes it's later than that, though. So if the
Sometime
statute
before the end of
says-
June, we have to do that.
The statute has a requirement of June 22nd,
Yep.
but it also says if we don't receive it, then we have to have it within 14 days of June 22nd, so.
So if
and
we
we've had
don't
that done. We've had that in previous years where it's
Right.
after June 22nd.
If we don't reconsider, this will happen on the 16th.
Yes, and then the certified tax rate's just a formality, and I apologize. I mentioned that to Mark, and
Okay,
it's
we
just a
did have
fly
a
in the
first
ointment.
and a second.
It would still go through the same if the vote stayed the same.
So do we have to take a vote because we had a first and a second on to reconsider?
Yeah,
Do we
and
have to-
you just would vote no.
Can you withdraw your motion? Okay. I just want to make sure we run the meeting right. Okay. Thank you. Mark, there's no need for closed session, correct? No. Okay, so without objection, I don't want to do it too fast. Okay, we're adjourned.